If we're going to grow plants, we need to know how to germinate seeds as effectively as possible. And to do this, I'm going to use a plastic bottle for a self-watering system, cut it in half, similar to the funnel fly trap. Now I find an old sock. You can use any material, but I'm going to tie a knot in the sock like this, and then I push it through the bottle like this. What I now need to do is to make some space for my soil. So I'm going to just push the sock over the edges of the bottle like this. Next thing to do is to put some compost in. So I've got some compost here and put it into the actual sock. And what I now need to do is to think about seeds and to think about how I'm going to plant the seeds. Now, some seeds actually only germinate in the light. Those tend to be seeds from forest areas, etc., which if they fall to the ground and it's too dark because there's a shadow, there's no point in them germinating because they won't actually survive. But the vast majority of seeds actually need darkness in order to germinate. And again, if that makes sense in terms of their survival, because if they're not buried, then it's unlikely that they will have enough water in order to survive. How deep should you plant the seeds? Well, as a rule of thumb, if we take a seed, so look at a bean seed here, we plant it twice the depth of their actual width. So I'm going to put a couple of bean seeds in here. I'm going to push them down to twice that size. And then what I'm going to do is I can pour some water through here. And what you'll see is this will percolate through and go into the bottom now. So how does this system work? Well, what we have is the water at the bottom here will make the sock wet, and because it's cotton, that will wick up and keep the compost moist, but not too wet, because if the seeds get too wet, they effectively drown, they can't get the oxygen to them. If they're too dry, then they obviously won't germinate. In terms of temperature, we need to think about temperature. The optimum temperature tends to be around 18 to 30 degrees. Lots of seeds will germinate cooler than that, 8, 5, 10 degrees. They will germinate, but to be most effective, 18 to 30 degrees. If you make it too hot, what will happen is we'll get denaturing of enzymes and you will actually kill the seeds and the seedlings. You may have covered your seeds to actually help them germinate, to make sure they're in darkness and also to keep the moisture in. Once they've actually germinated, obviously they're going to need light. So to do this, we might want to create a mini greenhouse. We can use this with another bottle of this size or something smaller, and that will actually protect the plants and keep them warm. You do need to be careful though to not overheat them, because it's very easy to scorch them and kill them once they've grown.